Well, to discuss the latest developments in Libya and the possible repercussions, we're joined from Washington by Ibrahim Sahad from the National Front for the Salvation of Libya, an opposition group. Ibrahim Sahad, welcome to Lateline.
Thank you.
As we just heard Dr. Bentley refer to that speech earlier today by Colonel Gaddafi's son, he pointed out that Libya is not Egypt or Tunisia, and he says his father will fight to the last man standing. Can Gaddafi survive this challenge?
Well, the speech of the son of Gaddafi was a disaster. He misrepresented the facts on the ground. He described the protesters with different descriptions are not true. We know that the protesters, engineers, judges, university teachers, lawyers from all sectors of the society. And then he was talking about the casualties in Benghazi as 14 people dead. We know that in Benghazi over 200 people was killed during the last few days. And then he started threatening the Libyan people, either me and my father, or you got civil war, or you will burn the oil fields, and so on. So the speech itself represented what Gaddafi and his son was thinking and what they actually presented during the last 40 years. I don't think Gaddafi will survive this because now all the Libyan people in the streets and they are raising their voices. They want Gaddafi to go.
How long has dissent been brewing in Libya? Would this have boiled over if there hadn't been Tunisia and Egypt?
Well, Libyan people has thousands of reasons to revolt against Gaddafi. The only thing prevented them from doing that is the brutal and heavy hand of Colonel Gaddafi, his oppressions and using heavy arms against the Libyan people in any demonstrations. So Libyan people tried several times to demonstrate, to show their dislike of this regime, but Gaddafi faced them with force and of course, after 41 years of oppression and of this kind of policies, the Libyan people got fed up and they have to sacrifice. They went to the streets, sacrificing themselves, their lives, to raise their voice and say their word. It was not easy for them to do that. And they've done that because the alternative was worse.
Well, indeed, we've seen certainly protesters claiming control of much of Benghazi, but what about Tripoli? Obviously, reports from Tripoli are very difficult at the moment. There are reports of looting, but as you say, the Gaddafi regime has not hesitated to use its massive force, its formidable security apparatus. You don't believe that they'll be able to ride this out, as some are saying?
Yesterday I call upon international community to step forward to protect the civilians inside Libya. Those civilians are armless and they are protesting in a very civil manner, trying to raise their voice in a very peaceful way. And they are faced with the most brutal, the use of live ammunition, heavy arms, and the use of the mercenaries. Now, I think Gaddafi, by doing that, is putting himself in the circle of committing crimes against humanity when he bring mercenaries to fight his own people, and when he use this kind of ammunitions and this kind of arms against armless people. Now, I would like to say here that I am not very satisfied with what I'm hearing from especially from the Western governments about what's taking place in Libya. I think time is passing and we are losing lives, and people need to be protected under all kind of laws to prevent Gaddafi from continuing this massacre, which is turning to be like genocide. We know that Gaddafi was classified as a terrorist, international terrorist. We know what he committed in the international arena, and what he's done inside Libya is more, and it's more than what we're hearing abroad. So I wonder why the Western governments are hesitating from having more and strong positions on this matter.
Well, Ibrahim Sahad, what would you want, or what would you be calling for Western governments to do? Because, of course, as we know, Colonel Gaddafi does not listen. He does not need to pick up the phone if the President of the United States calls.
I think the first thing to do is to send his ambassadors back home. And the second is to convene the Security Council to discuss the issue in Libya. We hear that in several occasions, Security Council was convened just to discuss the killing of one person in Lebanon. Now it is hundreds of people killed in Libya, and thousands are injured. And we hear that now in Benghazi, for instance, they are in need for medical supplies. They are in need for even food supplies in some parts of the eastern country. The problem is that Gaddafi is not stopping using all kinds of weapons against them. So I think by convening the Security Council and discussing the situation in Libya and taking the appropriate measures to stop Gaddafi from killing people, from committing this massacre. This is, I mean, a lot of people was injured, a lot of people were killed, and this has to stop.
How significant is it that, as we've been hearing in Benghazi, parts of the military, we can't confirm all of the military, but parts of the military have sided with the protesters? How significant is that?
Well, the military found themselves in need to jump to protect the protesters, as they've seen in the few days that mercenaries were used, heavy arms were used, bullets has been shot against the people, helicopters was used to sniper using the helicopters to kill the demonstrators. So these units joined the protesters and did two things. One, protect them, and the second, took over another barracks, which in that barracks the mercenaries base and the security forces of Gaddafi base. They took that over to protect people. That's what done. And we're hearing that many security forces, even in Tripoli, in other parts of Libya, in Al-Baida, in Shahat, in Derna, in Zawiya, in many places in Libya, we hear that the security forces joining people to protect them from the mercenaries, which Gaddafi is pushing to the streets.
I want to ask you finally, because we're going to run out of time, but if you are right, and if this is the end for Colonel Gaddafi, if he cannot survive this challenge, you've been part of the opposition movement outside Libya since the early 80s. What would a post-Gaddafi Libya look like? Are the structures there? Is there an opposition? Is there a party or even just a coordinated group that could take over?
At the moment in Benghazi, in other cities, they are making these coordinating groups. We are looking for a transitional period, and then in this period a constitution will be written and referendum will be done, so the people will say their opinion on the constitution. We're looking for Libya as a democratic government where parties are not banned like now, where freedom of press will be there. Now you know that Gaddafi has blockade the media from Libya and has a blackout on any news coming from Libya. We're looking for free press in Libya. We're looking for people in Libya have all dignity. They have the freedom to choose their government, the freedom to choose their representatives. This is the Libya which we're looking for, and I think that's attainable, because in Libya we had an experience before Gaddafi when we had a constitution and we have a parliament, we have sort of democracy which at that time was not present in any other Arab countries around us.
Ibrahim Sahad, many thanks for joining Lateline from Washington tonight.
Thank you.